Welcome to Rays of Hope, where inspiration meets possibilities. Join us on this journey as we explore videos that illuminate the path to positivity, resilience, and success. How stories shape minds, cultures, and the future. Stories have always been a part of who we are. From ancient cave paintings to modern films, they connect us, teach us, and spark our imagination. But stories are more than just entertainment. They shape how we see the world and even how we act within it. They help us share experiences, build communities, and inspire change. Whether spoken, written, or visual, stories hold a kind of power we often take for granted. The origins of storytelling. Stories have been with us since the beginning. Long before books or screens existed, humans shared experiences and lessons through spoken words and symbols. Storytelling helped early societies connect, understand their world, and pass on what mattered most. Let's explore how this ancient tradition shaped our survival and culture. Storytelling in ancient societies. Imagine sitting around a fire thousands of years ago. Darkness surrounds you, but the flickering flames bring warmth and a sense of safety. A member of your group begins to speak, recounting a hunt or warning of dangers lurking in the wild. These moments weren't just for entertainment, they were survival tools. Early humans used storytelling to share knowledge critical to survival. How to find food. Stories about when and where the herds migrated or which plants were safe to eat. Avoiding dangers. Legends that warned of predators hiding near water or the consequences of eating the wrong berries. Navigating the world. Tales that pointed to landmarks, paths, and stars to follow. These stories weren't written down, they lived in memory and were passed from one generation to the next. They became a thread that connected people, helping build trust and stronger community bonds. When you knew the same stories, you belonged. Mythology and cultural identity. As societies grew, their stories grew with them. Mythology emerged, grand tales filled with gods, heroes, and larger-than-life events. These stories weren't just fun to tell, they gave meaning to a group's identity and offered a sense of purpose. Myths explained the unexplainable. Why does the sun rise each day? Perhaps it's carried across the sky by a mighty chariot. Why do thunderstorms happen? It might be the anger of a powerful deity. Through these tales, people created frameworks for understanding the natural world. But mythology didn't stop there, it became a moral compass. Myths often taught right from wrong, guiding how people treated each other and their environment. Take, for example, the shared values in many mythologies. The triumph of good over evil. The importance of courage and loyalty. The dangers of pride or greed. Myths united cultures by creating shared beliefs and customs. They built a sense of us in a world that could feel vast and uncertain. Even today, echoes of these stories live on in art, language, and traditions, reminding us of their lasting impact. The psychology behind stories. Humans don't just tell stories, they live by them. They shape how we make sense of the world, connect with others, and even see ourselves. But why do stories have such a profound effect? To answer this, we need to understand the psychology behind storytelling, from how our brains process narratives to why they touch our emotions so deeply. The science of storytelling. When we hear a story, something fascinating happens in the brain. Studies in neuroscience show that stories activate multiple areas in our minds, far beyond the parts used for processing facts or data. For instance, when a storyteller describes the smell of fresh bread, the sensory parts of the brain associated with smell in the olfactory cortex light up. If they talk about physical movement, the motor cortex may get involved. In essence, stories go beyond words, they create immersive experiences. This is due to a process called neural coupling, where listeners' brains sync with the storytellers. It's almost like living the story yourself. Then there's the role of dopamine, a feel-good chemical released when something emotional or suspenseful happens in a narrative. It boosts focus, memory retention, and emotional engagement. That's why the climax of a great story stays with you. It literally rewires your brain to hold onto it. Through stories, our minds aren't just absorbing, they're relating, imagining, and feeling. Information that might seem forgettable when presented in a list transforms into something unforgettable when wrapped in a narrative. Empathy and connection. Have you ever found yourself tearing up over a fictional character's struggles or rooting for them as if they're a dear friend? That's no accident, stories build empathy. When we hear or read a narrative, especially one told from another person's point of view, our brains start recreating their experience. Researchers have found that this happens because of mirror neurons, which fire as we empathize, bridging the gap between the storyteller and listener. Think of it like walking in someone else's shoes, but without moving an inch. Stories help us see the world from perspectives we might never encounter otherwise, whether it's the plight of a refugee in a memoir or the life of an astronaut in a sci-fi film. This sense of connection doesn't just stay in our heads, it influences our actions and decisions. In fact, some studies suggest that exposure to empathetic storytelling can make people more socially aware and compassionate in real life. Beyond individual empathy, stories bring people together. A shared story can become a common experience, a bonding point. When you sit down with friends to reminisce about your favorite childhood show or dissect a compelling movie, it strengthens your relationships. Through the lens of narratives, we find not only ourselves but also each other. That's it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore how storytelling impacts everything from culture to personal growth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss it. Thank you for joining us on this uplifting journey with Rays of Hope. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for more videos that spark hope and empowerment. Until next time, keep shining brightly. Thank you for watching.